Welcome to Rob Recaps. We are going to start the second part today. Qin Lianshan wanted to speak, but he felt dizzy and his feet staggered. His son was not dead, but alive? Qin Lianshan tried to calm down his happy feelings. Be that as it may, his activity sold out him, and appeared how upbeat he was as he strolled towards their house at a speed that appeared as if he was running. Daddy, wait for me. Qin Xiu couldn't even catch up. Wu Xinghe was at home and stared at himself in the mirror, thinking about how he had moved to a different world. Qin Lianshan went home and immediately went to his son's room to call him. When Wu Xinghe first saw Qin Lianshan, he immediately recognized him. He felt a strong bond between them, like they were destined to be connected even before this life. Qin Lianshan didn't use comforting words to make his son feel better. But Wu Xinghe could see from Qin Lianshan's eyes how worried he had been in the past few days and how happy he was now that his son was okay. Wu Xinghe felt a little bit sentimental and a little warm and moved. Wu Shuang, you have to let father know about everything. Tell him how Zhong Xian, the second son of the Zhong family, threatened and convinced you to participate in a duel. Qin Lianshan was still mad at the Zhong family even though his son was still alive. He pretended to be kind and respectful in front of his children but secretly had a hidden reason for sharpening the spear. Wu Xinghe still remembered how others had threatened Qin Wu Shuang and tricked him into the duel. However, he never planned on going back or revisiting it. That embarrassing recollection. So, he spoke calmly and said to his father that they should not talk about the things that had happened before. Let us look forward. The prominent Zhong family? Zhong Xian, second son of the Zhong family? Wu Xinghe did not care about them at all. His previous leader, Qin Wushuang, was very scared of them, thinking they were like wolves. He just wanted to get rid of all these old stories. Put it in the trash. On the other hand, Wu Xinghe did not care about these points of interest ever since he had resurrected in this place. What he wanted was to view the entire political outlook of River County and Bayou Country. Look forward, Qin Lianshan repeated the sentence. Then, he raised his head and looked at his son in surprise. Somehow, his son was standing in front of him and showed very unusual behavior. If he were the normal Qin Wushuang that had an abnormally extraordinary character, he would be filled with scorn and a determination for revenge. How was he able to look calm and comfortable as if he didn't have any worries? Had you forgotten about the embarrassing fight? Qin Lianshan had many thoughts in his head. He kept thinking as he looked at his son. Father, to look forward does not mean to throw away hatred. After all, Wu Xinghe was a Grandmaster of martial arts in their previous life. He instantly saw through his father's mind. But, scorn alone would not offer assistance to us, the Qin family, to escape from this dilemma. Qin Lianshan's mouth opened in surprise. Could it be that after the fight, his son had finally matured and become smarter? Even though he was shocked, he did not anticipate Qin Lianshan to share the same sentiments with his son. Thus, he nodded and said, Wu Shuang, you are right. We look forward. From now on, you will stop attending the martial arts academy. Beginning tomorrow, you may spend all your time preparing for our ancestors' martial arts strategies. I don't want to believe that the Qin family's martial arts move would not create a result. Genuine force warrior. Generations ago, our Qin family was part of the wealthy class. Certain unusual situations are happening at the moment. Our family power has gone down. However, our power has not dropped to the extent that others can do what they want. When he spoke about how important it was to come from a well-respected family, Qin Lianshan's tone carried some wildness and pride. That's right, Wu Shuang. They will bully you once more in case you return to the martial arts academy. Why not just stay at Eastwood Town? Qin Xiu quickly spoke as she entered in a hurry. A strange feeling traveled through Wu Xinghe's heart when he got adoring care from his family. This feeling made Wu Xinghe feel something to keep the family safe. It also made him feel that he should contribute to this family. Wu Xinghe spoke out loud when he stopped thinking. Dad, we should take our time before making this decision. If it were a dragon, it would stir the ocean anywhere. If it were a tiger, wouldn't it be the king of any forest? I will not let our family get bullied ever once more. These words made Qin Lianshan and Qin Xiu stare at each other speechlessly. It seems like they were really surprised about the big change. Qin Wushuang is going through a transformation. Wu Xinghe realized he had done too much. He noticed how they reacted. He might have scared his family. After all, the real Qin Wushuang was very different from him. Qin Xiu gave his father a look. Qin Lianshan quickly understood and replied, Wushuang, you are still getting better from a bad injury. You needed to rest more. It is late, and you must sleep first. As for the other matters, we will discuss them tomorrow morning. Right now Wu Xinghe also wanted to be left alone by himself to try to sort out his thoughts. At night, Wu Shuang lay down on his bed and considerations came surging to his intellect. He needed to figure out the strange contempt between the unmistakable coarse Zhong family and the Qin family. Why had this scorn driven the Zhong family to murder them as they were beneficiaries of the Qin family? Wu Xinghe understood everything after he had briefly organized his thoughts. The source of the problem started with what the family likes to do. The starting point of the problem was the National Family Class Evaluation session in 4 years. If Qin Wushuang had passed on, the Qin family would have no beneficiary. Losing the male beneficiary implied that the Qin family naturally lost its eligibility to take part in the family class evaluation. It means that after 4 years, the Qin family would lose the seat of nobility. If the Qin family lost its aristocratic seat, the 3,000 or 4,000 acres of fertilized land, 1 large oil mill, dozens of livestock farms, dozens of mu of fish ponds, and the 20 or 30 retail shops in Eastwood Town would instantly be taken over. Other than the financial misfortune, the most noticeably awful portion would be the misfortune of social status. In this world, an extreme chasm exists between the nobles and civilians. After he had completely gotten a handle on this data, Wu Xinghe recognized that the duel between Qin Wushuang and Zhongxian were a scheme. This trick was 99% related to the family class evaluation. Of course, they were after the colossal legacy of the Qin family. Wu Xinghe fell asleep with these new ideas and motivations. Early the next morning, Wu Shuang was strolling around the house, while his sister Qin Xiu came running after him. Qin Xiu called to him just as he was about to adjust his breathing. Wu Shuang, Daddy has asked you to come to the hall. Dean Jin Buyi from Wutong Academy is here. Wu Shuang was surprised why the dean came to visit us, so he asked, why did he come here? All that happened inside the academy, so he must have come to offer condolences, said her sister. Let's go, sister, let's meet the county's guest, said Wu Shuang. While walking towards the guest hall, he had already set his resolve to revive the Qin family. There were 3 guests, and one of them was clearly Jin Buyi, Dean of the Martial Arts Academy of River County. He loved to call himself a kind-hearted man. As for the other 2, Qin Wushuang had not left any residual memories about them. Jin Buyi asked with a bitter tone, Wu Shuang, how are your injuries? Wu Shuang thought Jin Buyi had no moral character, so it was a complete joke when he called himself a kind-hearted man. Previously, when Qin Wushuang had dueled with Zhongxian and Jin Buyi had completely ignored the matter despite being present in the academy. He had allowed Zhongxian to do whatever he wanted. To put it gruffly, Jin Buyi was an attendant of the highborn families. Wu Shuang stood next to Qin Lianshan and lightly glanced at Jin Buyi. He wanted to see what kind of act Jin Buyi would put on today. Wu Shuang did not take the incitement, smiled, and said, Mr. Dignitary, did you come here to ask how I am doing? It's a bit late for that, isn't it? My injuries are fine. Would a lot of people be disappointed? Jin Buyi laughed embarrassingly, but he secretly inquired himself, how come the son of the Qin family felt like a completely different person? Before, Qin Wushuang did not dare to look him in the eye. What was going on today? Not only did he make faces at him, but he also spoke to him in a mocking tone. Qin Lianshan was not cheerful, but he inquired with a straight face, "The three of you'd not have come without business. So, why have you come here?" One of the researchers who looked revolting and evil stood up. He signaled to Qin Lianshan and said, "Patriarch Qin, I came here today with some advice for you. If it's not too much trouble," Qin Lianshan delicately talked. This scholastic researcher was named Go Sheng. He had read a lot of books and knew his way around politics. However, he had always had a bad reputation and worked as a lobbyist for other people. Yes, Patriarch Qin is also an honest man. We, smart people, will not talk rubbish then. You know about the family class evaluation in 4 years and the current situation your family is in, right? Gosheng asked with a harsh tone. 59, Gosheng said in an overstated tone. Patriarch Qin must know what will happen to your family in case you lose the humble lesson situate, right? On the off chance that Patriarch Qin may be a keen man, at that point you ought to plan a reinforcement arrangement right presently. Qin Lianshan scowled and said, "So, Mr. Gosheng came to point a way for me?" Gosheng sighed, "Haven't I always tried to be helpful? Indeed, there is a way out for you. However, I am not sure if Patriarch Qin wants to hear it." Qin Lianshan wanted to flick his sleeves and send these guests away, but Wu Shuang interrupted, "Why don't you tell us about it? If your method is proven to be helpful to our family, we will reward you. This is Master Shu Xinghe, the more youthful brother of the wealthy Shu family. He represents the Shu family and will make a guarantee to the humble Qin family. If you are willing to give away the aristocratic seat in 4 years, the Shu family will guarantee your family's safety. Additionally, they will give you 200 acres of land and 1 oil mill." Wu Xinghe finally understood. It seemed that these guests had come with ill intentions. Qin Lianshan spoke in a low voice as he tried to control his anger. "Mr. Gosheng, from the way you're talking, you think that the Qin family is going to lose for sure in 4 years? Gosheng slowly said as he lay in the chair, "For the past 20 years, a lot of new powerhouses have emerged in River County. At least 7 or 8 of these powerhouses are eligible to fight for the seat of the humble class. However, we only have approximately 30 big and small aristocratic seats in the entire River County. Too many people are fighting for a limited number of spots. I am sure that Patriarch Qin understands your family's present situation much better than I do, right?" Upon hearing these words, Qin Lianshan fought to control his anger and quietly put his teacup down. "Throughout generations, my family has gone through this family class evaluation more than 20 times. Regarding qualifications, these modern aristocratic families did not even exist when my family was here. Moreover, all the personnel in charge of the family class evaluation sessions are assigned by the emperor from the Zhenwu holy place. Do you think it's possible to extend your connections to the holy place?" Qin Lianshan delivered his words with a tone that was neither humble nor arrogant. Gosheng laughed dryly. He stared at Qin Lianshan strangely, his eyes exposed his unruly behavior. "Brother Lianshan, I am not here to judge you. Although the Qin family has quite the heritage, it's all in the past. In the present situation, whether the judges are fair, wouldn't it come down to an individual's accomplishments and moral ethics, eventually? Do you think that His Majesty will have the time to care about the personnel assigned in such a small county?" Regardless of Qin Lianshan's ability to control his anger, his face abruptly changed when he heard these words. He could not help but flick his sleeves and say, "Mr. Gosheng, it seems that you are not here to point a way out for my family. Rather, you are here to destroy the path altogether, correct?" "That's right." Gosheng stood up and replied with a harsh tone, "Lianshan, please excuse my words. Your family will lose its humble class seat in the next family class evaluation. Once you lose your seat, you will lose everything." Gosheng laughed recklessly. The angrier Qin Lianshan became, the more pleased he was with himself. But then he added with a wicked smile, "Of course, it's still unknown whether your family can make it in 4 years." Qin Lianshan glanced at Shu Xinghe and saw he did not even put his reaction in his eye. The handle of the chair he sat in immediately turned into a handful of scraps. Qin Lianshan clutched those scraps and spoke coldly. The Qin family went through great trouble to gain this aristocratic seat. I will not give this position away. If you want it, then come to take it. Whether you rob me or make threats, I will take all of your attacks. Gou Sheng's face immediately turned to disgust when he heard these words. In contrast to the previous carefree face, Xu Sihai's expression also froze instantly. He shot a murderous glare at Qin Lianshan and measured him from top to bottom. Patriarch Qin, it seems that you would rather die gloriously than live shamefully, right? Qin Lianshan unleashed his arrogant attitude as he no longer cared if he was speaking to the master from the wealthy Xu family. He rolled his eyes and spoke in a fine voice, my ancestors have set the rules that whoever seeks to destroy the Qin family, we shall destroy them with everything we have, regardless of the cost. This sonorous and forceful reply was immediately expressed. Qin Lianshan's attitude is very clear. Xiaoa, help father to send off the guests. Lianshan stood from his seat and spoke angrily. Extremely angered, Gou Sheng's face turned purple. Then, he suddenly laughed villainously. You, Qin Lianshan. You asked for it. Good, I will come to spit on your face when your family falls to the streets. By that time, don't blame me for dropping the stone on you. When he heard this, Xinghe could not help but laugh. Then, he said, from your tone, it seems that you did not come here to drop the stone. Mr. Leftover, I will give you some advice. All troubles come from ambition. Today, you came here to show off your power and your negotiation skills. However, you better beware of some sneaky attacks because if both dog and master are attacked, then the situation will not be good for you at all. Gou Sheng could think of a single word to respond to. A moment later, he finally growled, Qin Lianshan, both of you, father and son, sing the same melody and do not understand the circumstances at all. Sooner or later you will regret it. Xu Sihai stood up from his seat and said before leaving, since Patriarch Qin insisted on doing this, I will not say anything more. When Jin Bui saw Wu Xinghe had opened his mouth, he came up and spoke to him with a smile, Qin Wushuang, you still need to report back to the Martial Arts Academy since your injuries are fine. Your name is still on the school roll. All aristocratic children must study at the Martial Arts Academy. It's not a solution if you hide at home. His words sounded as if he cared for Qin Wushuang. But how could Wu Xinghe not see through his ill intentions? But he did not expose him and replied, of course, I will return to the academy. Thank you for reminding me, Mr. Dean. Yes, that's good. No matter what situation we are in, you should still focus on school in your current stage. Jin Bui smiled slyly and walked out. The road is long, and we will never know what happens. I will not see you off. Please be careful on the way, Mr. Dean. If you make one wrong step, there might be a bottomless chasm. His words sounded like advice, but in truth, these words contained Wu Xinghe's warning and threats. After sending off the three evil guests, Qin Lianshan asked with a serious tone, Wu Shuang, you are planning to return to the Martial Arts Academy? Why not? Wu Xinghe spoke with profound meaning as he watched the back of the three evil guests. Jin Bui is River County's famous two-faced snake. Naturally, he is not harboring any good intentions when he invited you to return to the academy, said Lianshan. How could they have come with good intentions when these three joined hands? But since they do have ill intentions, the more reason I should go back to the Martial Arts Academy and see the situation. Qin Lianshan watched his son and vividly felt that his son's entire temperament had changed after he had gone through the disaster. Father, thinking back, I feel that the duel was a conspiracy. This conspiracy was not only targeting me, but our family's humble class seat and business. Qin Lianshan's face exhibited a seriousness in which you could not tell his emotions. Wu Shuang, do you still plan to return to that academy even though you've figured out everything? Qin Lianshan wanted to know what his son had in mind. Father, that stupid scholar Gou Sheng is a wicked man, and he dared to show off at our family house. Of course, he relied on the powerhouse to bully us. However, from another perspective, isn't it because he doesn't need to fear us? Qin Lianshan gave a long sigh. He knew his son was right. 100 years ago, the Qin family was part of the wealthy class and had a booming population. Within River County, nobody had dared to badmouth the Qin family. Not to mention people coming to threaten them in their own homes. Father, I've thought a lot these days. If the Qin family wants to survive, it all depends on you and me. If I am not able to go through this challenge and hide back in the Qin house whenever something difficult occurs, how can I carry the family and move forward? These words hit the mark and touched Qin Lianshan's heart. Finally, Qin Lianshan nodded with wide eyes. You are a good son with ambition. Father will let you go. Then he spoke with a solemn tone, but you must promise Father as well. When you return to the Martial Arts Academy in River County, you must endure all hardships and never fall into their traps again. Wu Xinghe suddenly initiated his heroic spirit when he heard these words. Father, please rest assured. After the resurrection, I already know what to do, and what not to do. Qin Lianshan's tiger-like eyes opened widely when he heard these words. He looked at his son, his eyes filled with deep thoughts. After he decided to return to the academy, Qin Wushuang was not quick to go back to Luojiang country. By contrast, he kept his practice at home for a month. He was healing and doing exercises to make his skills more perfect. The place was amazing and covered with greenery and mountains. He thought in his peaceful mind about martial arts in his ex-life were muscular, and now this life he chose Fist of King Kong as the premier attacking skill. In this world, he found different rules for cultivation that were not in a past life. In their previous life, he had no strictness and no boundaries between the limitations for internal and external cultivation. Here just outer strength is practiced to the limit and the body's purpose to a certain height. From the outside to the inside we can produce inner strength and enter the cultivation stage of inner strength. In his previous life, he was a peak expert with both internal and external cultivation and was beatable in the world. Regarding levels, he could be a master of the genuine force of stage 9, or more if he used his experience from the previous world into this. His continuous practice and hard work successfully achieved the higher stage of force. If this force continues within 3 months, his development enters the power force and genuine force. He wants to get a power maximum of 70 or 80% of strength before the class cultivation. After getting to the higher stage of power force, he punched a tree to test his power, then the tree broke and fell. Then he thought that it was a long way to get the highest power of the 9th stage, but it was more than sufficient to survive with the Wutong test. He had attached and understood the value of his family. As long as the family is there, all hope is there. At Qin House, when Wu Shuang came back home after a month, he saw that his sister was upset and sitting alone. He looked at his sister in amaze and asked, "Sister, what's the matter with you?" She saw her brother stand up with pleasant and replied, "Sister is fine." "What did you practice today?" He thought, "It's written on your face and you say it's okay." "Sister, tell me, what's the matter?" He emphasizes her, "If you think of me as your younger brother, don't hide it from me." She looked at him with loving and hopeful eyes and said, "Wu Shuang." While crying, she told him that yesterday, from the farmland manor came over and reported some business. "We talked for about 1 hour inside the house. This morning his dead body was sent to the front door." Wu Shuang was shocked and asked, "How could this have happened?" "The one who killed Manna is Demon. He has tortured me for 6 years." Wu Shuang asked her, "Who is he?" She told him that she was just 12 years old. "Demon told that he likes me. He threatened me and told me that he would take me away after 10 years. Otherwise, he will return to Donglin town to destroy my Qin family. Father never married me off. Father was scared of your impatient temper, that's why he never told you about it." Wu Shuang shockedly asked her what happened with that man. She closed her eyes tightly and said, "I don't know. In these 6 years, all the young men that talked to me either died or went missing." She did this in pain and with a tormented voice. "I have become a Death Star." Wu Shuang suddenly stunned. 10 years. He screamed and was also surprised. "It means that there are 4 more years." When she saw his brother looking worried, she innocently said, Wu Shuang, don't worry, I am not scared. If you carry the family and never make the father and our ancestors, I can do anything at any cost. Wu Shuang said, Sister, I won't make you wait another 4 years. After hearing this, she looked happy and hopeful and said, Wu Shuang, thanks. After that, he thought, I failed to protect my sister in my previous life, but in this life, I will protect her. After that, Wu Shuang went to Wutong Academy. He has many things on his mind, such as passion, success and family development. He was looking at the building with a smiley face and shiny eyes. When he get into the academy, all the students stunned and started discussions on him. They were neither happy nor surprised to see him alive. One of them said, Isn't this Qin Wu Shuang? I heard that he was killed to death. Why is he alive again? Said the other after taking back a small life. He didn't hide at home, yet he dared to come back. And the third one said, This didn't kill him, I'm scared he has become a fool after getting beaten. Ha ha. Xu Ting and Zhong Xian both are from a wealthy family. They saw Wu Shuang with anger and terror. Zhong said, Xu Xiao, this Qin Wu Shuang dares to come back with big swag. He doesn't take us seriously. On the other hand, Wu Shuang entered the academy with great courage and confidence. His eyes wandered around, he thought, what a bunch of little brats. Wu Shuang looked at the dean aggressively. He was no less than an enemy. Mr. Dean said, Qin Wu Shuang, you are back. He thought that Jin Buyi really couldn't hold his breath. He must have a lot of plans to tease me back to Wutong Academy because he disliked the noble families. That is why he kept dying. Wu Shuang. The wound on the head has completely healed, right? Dean said to Wu Shuang. Mr. Dean, speak up if you have something to say and let your fart, said Wu Shuang. After thinking for a while, Jin Buyi said, what you did last time had a bad impact. I hope you will be more disciplined in the future. After hearing this, Wu Shuang thought, this old clever fox is so indifferent between right and wrong. He dares to call himself kind_hearted. Dean asked to him, do you think I am wrong? Wu Shuang replied with an angry and serious attitude, yes, you're right. I should bear all the humiliation when the children of the famous family bully me. When they wanted to rob my family's land, I should also give them our oil mill and shops. As a noble family, we should have this kind of consciousness. He said in a mean tone, right? Mr. Dean? He thought deeply about this little boy. When did his words become so sharp? He spoke straightforward and advised Qin Wu Shuang, I know very well that you were looking to cause some trouble when you chose to come back to the academy. I am warning you, if you dare to make a disturbance, I will take care of you per the law. Wu Shuang was shocked when he heard all this. He said, weren't you the one that invited me to come back to the Wutong Academy? I don't know how you deal with me. Mr. Dean grabbed his glasses and said very arrogantly, I will expel you and kick you out. He had understood his politics and turned back from there and said, Mr. Dean, I understand your intentions. I will remember your words, goodbye. He thought in a derogatory way in his mind as he left, expel me? Did he think that it was fun for me to tangle with a bunch of little kids? This place is part of Wutong Academy where students live and continue their martial arts education. He was standing outside the dormitory and said, this is Qin Wu Shuang's dormitory. When he opened the door and entered the room, he saw the room was simple. The poor boy lived simply, with just one bed and one cupboard in his room. Hu Ziyan maintained a close relationship with Qin Wu Shuang. He was his friend from Eastwood Town. Today was the first time they had met again after Qin Wu Shuang's accident. Can we talk inside? Hu Ziyan pointed to the dorm. The two of them walked into the dorm. Qin Wu Shuang jumped onto the bed and sat cross-legged. He didn't ask the reason for Hu Ziyan's visit. Hu Ziyan carefully shut the door and spoke in a low voice, Wu Shuang, why didn't go back to Eastwood? Surely you knew that Zhong Xian and his people deliberately gave you trouble? Yes, I know, Qin Wu Shuang replied. If you knew, why are you still here? I see that Zhong Xian still wants to give you trouble these days. You better be careful. I want to say just go back to Eastwood Town. Hu Ziyan rubbed his hand. His eyes were caring and anxious because he cared about Qin Wushuang from the bottom of his heart. You came to inform me of this, and you are not scared that they will give you trouble. A rare trace of a playful smile emerged on Qin Wushuang's face. I didn't have anything they would in Eastwood Town. Although I didn't have the strength to help you, I also don't want to see others bully you. Wushuang, listen to me, go back to Eastwood. Hu Ziyan was solemn when he spoke these words. He looked at Qin Wushuang and waited for his reply. Ziyan, don't ever come here again if it is not an emergency. I will take care of my own business. If you don't want trouble, then don't get involved with these matters. It will not benefit you. Qin Wushunag's words were not kind, but he spoke the truth. Hu Ziyan suddenly stopped because he saw Qin Wushuang staring at him with a pair of stern eyes. If you have finished, then leave, said Wushuang. Then he opened the door, pushed Hu Ziyan out, and shut the door with a bang. Hu Ziyan stood outside the door for a few minutes. Qin Wushuang, what happened? That's all for the today. If you like to watch the next part of this manhwa, just write comment below. Thanks for watching, and please don't forget to like, subscribe and press bell icon for getting epic content on this channel.